Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Strange Brews video. Today we are doing a deck tech, and we are here with Amie Burton, and she's going to talk about her Ikra Shidiqi and Rograkh Turbo Snoop deck. Amie, what would you say, if you give us a concise kind of overview, what would you say is general purpose and game plan of this deck?
If I had to say anything, it is go brrr, quickly. Just you want to be casting your Admazes and your peering into the abysses as fast as possible. This also runs Bolas's Citadel, which is like a bad version of both those cards, but a third version of broken cards is still good. To either establish a Conspicuous Snoop or a Ikra Shidiqi combo as fast as possible, which usually you want to win turn 2 or turn 3.
So basically, it's black cards that were probably mistakes go burr.
Yeah, and then you get red goblins, so you can play a combo that doesn't cost 1,000,000 mana, and then it's green cards because
I was gonna say
black cards
that were probably mistakes. I don't see Necropotence on this list, but maybe that's because Necropotence was a mistake.
I actually have a reasoning behind not playing Necropotence.
Oh, interesting.
Well, we could
you share that?
Get into that later. Yeah. Or now.
We can share
on my primer, I have a couple cards that most people like look at and they're like, "Where are your there's Necropotence," and I don't play Necropotence because Snoop is a combo that requires cards in your library. So when you pay 12 life to draw 12 cards, you can't win off of the cards you draw immediately. And then you can't discard them to Necro because they get exiled. So then your combo falls apart, which is similar to why I don't play Yawgmoth's Will, which I go back and forth on Yawg-Will just because having a second Breach, kind of, even though it's worse than Breach now, is still worthwhile to talk about.
I remember when Breach was spoiled, and I was calling it second Yawg's Will, and now it's
Yawg-Will is
now Yawg-Will is second Breach. Sorry.
Look at me. I am the Yawg's Will now.
Oh man.
Oh.
This format has gone so crazy since I started playing like 5 years ago. Fuck, I'm old.
Oh man. I see also in the primer that's a similar reason why you don't run Dark Confidant, which is another black staple, is that it can ruin Snoop piles and that similar kind of thing.
Yeah, and then I think just gonna go through the rest of that list real quick. Opposition Agent. When I'm going faster than playing an Opposition Agent, I need to worry about stopping other people's Opposition Agents other than playing my own. And then, unfortunately, WotC won't put a mana dork to tap your red mana for one, so I don't run any of your Llanowar Elvish Mystics or Finhorn Elves.
That would be so amazing.
Quarter Falling is green, green, green in a deck that already needs to make black, 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 and red, red, red. And you can't use Coaling the Weak or Infernal Plunge or Burn Offering to make that green mana, which is one of the best ways to fix mana in this deck. Is just this worthless Goblin Matron I cast last turn can now just be 4 black mana. And
That's
then
pretty good.
Survival of the Fittest, I had similar issues. The Cord also, I only ever drew Survival of the Fittest when my hand was not creatures, and I only ever drew a lot of creatures in games where I never saw Survival of the Fittest, and that card frustrates me.
Yeah. Yeah. As much as I love Survival of the Fittest, you really need it in a deck that can really abuse it, and also just the fact of to do things with it, you need a lot of green mana, just like Cord. I actually cut Cord I've actually cut Cord from several decks for similar reasons when I was like building them. I was just like, it's just really hard to cast triple green sometimes. So
yeah, unfortunately, Jeweled Lotus is not the
it's not Black Lotus. So So what in particular drew you to put this deck together? What is special and unique about it to you? I kind of when you were kind of thinking about it. I think we're gonna know the answer.
So I was originally playing Ditto 8008's Timtana Double D list, which is a deck that really cares about getting through Timna triggers. And my play group for most of the pandemic had been my ex-boyfriend and his two roommates, and all three of them are on Kenneth Stacks decks.
Oh my
God!
Different variations.
Fuck!
You never got in with Timna. It was just never happened, so you couldn't crack your Doomsday piles consistently, which was the biggest strength of playing Timna. So when Rograkh was spoiled, I quickly looked at how I could take the aspects of the Timnatana Doomsday list and use that fast mana while trying to go faster than that deck did, so I didn't run into those same issues of just being half a turn too slow behind Stacks decks. Which, yeah, it's rough when you got like 5-color wheel stacks things, then you have something similar to Cobblepot's Fairer Magic, and then you have some other like artifacty stacksy thing with Kenrith.
I love
Just
stacks, but that
it
just
was rough.
not that. Ew.
That is just too much. That's just.
Yeah, we had a game.
Were they all? They were all on Kenrith, yeah.
Yeah, we had a game that went 23 turns once.
Oh my god.
Excuse me.
Oh my god.
And I think that people won that. I think that game was won via Kenrith's +1/+1 counter ability and giving things trample and haste. I died like turn 17, so I got to sit there and watch them beat each other to death with growing Kenriths.
My goodness. That's too much. That's pain. I love stacks, but that's you're taking it too far. Make some faster decks. Oh my goodness.
Can we talk about the real commander of this deck, Ikra Shidiqi, the Usurper?
Yeah, Ikra Shidiqi. I've cast her many a times when I've been disappointedly force of willed on turn 1 or 2 from winning. So then I have to play the long game. And then I get to not win very often, but I get to gain life. I just make it really obnoxious for other people to kill me.
Yeah, can we just all agree non-blue gang counter spells are rude?
No. Because I'm not part of the non-blue gang.
You guys hear about my game where I turn 1 to appear into the abyss with Red Elemental Blast backup on the play, and I only lost that game because somebody had the Gemstone Caverns with this spell and Force of Negation.
Oh my goodness.
To stop me, it was fun.
Yeah, Magic is Richard Garfield.
Don't lump me in with the non-blue gang, Sean. I'm not one of you spleen-faced stands.
Wait,
I just
say blue deck?
I'm just not very smart, and blue cards are complicated. I'll be honest.
Blue cards aren't complicated when you're playing like Urza, and most of your cards are the same from when you were playing your red deck.
Yeah, you're just cheating.
Heuristic study triggers are difficult to remember. As somebody who has to play in the heuristic studies, and then having to keep track of cards I draw, just...
I mean, the way I remember heuristic study is by aggressively staring at it, not making eye contact with any of my opponents, and then just listening for them to say I cast, and then just aggressively saying, do you pay the 1? You'll never forget.
That's so aggressive. Oh my goodness.
That's not how I play heuristic study, but please don't do that. All right, so
besides Ikra, what is the actual important commander for this deck, and what does he provide?
Oh yeah, Rograkh was a design mistake.
Jesus,
like,
it was.
The fact that he has a color identity is absurd. like I understand that kobolds are red, but the fact they still gave him a color identity is absurd to me. Which means that you get access to red plus 2 other colors no matter what you're doing. And then you get wonderful cards like Cold in the Week and Infernal Plunge. There's more. I just gotta take
Diabolic Intent.
Diabolic Intent.
Yeah.
And you get your Jessica's Wills that care about your commander in play. Eldritch Evolution.
Yeah.
You can go find Goblin Repeater with it.
Mox Amber is a card you can reliably play on like turn 1.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and you get to play Screenleaf Drum too.
You just get like extra Moxen.
Yeah.
Just by putting a Kobold in the zone.
Similar to why you get the what's the blue black guy called?
Silas.
Silas Jen?
Kylo.
Similar to why you play the Grixis deck where you want to turbo out your Adnaz with Rograkh. You do that in Jund. But I think that you get a little bit of a competitive edge just because you have 2 extra pieces of fast mana that Grixis doesn't get access to in Orcish Lumberjack.
I love that card so much.
And Tinderwall, both of which don't seem like they matter that much, but it helps your deck mulligan better than that Grixis deck does. And it helps your deck just be faster in general than the Grixis deck. The only downside is that Jund doesn't have a blue-blue-black win condition. Which I thought we were close with the new Witherbloom of Planetis, but black, green, and 1 to blow yourself out and possibly lose the game, not as good as I thought it was.
I will say,
right now with the deck
I will say, yeah, I was gonna say I am currently also developing let's say a pile of cardboard that focuses on Chain of Smog combos. But that's for another time.
I'm gonna test the combo. I think it will probably end up just not being good.
Well, there are other Magecraft cards that I want to see. That's like the easiest enabler.
That dwarf.
Yeah.
Make treasures.
Which goes into Corvold so easily. Can we stop giving Corvold good cards?
No, Corvold's great.
Like,
Why would you publicly diss Brandon on our podcast? He's gonna hate us now.
All I'm trying to do is play decks that aren't commander dependent in Jund, and then they keep putting cards for Corvold, and I'm like, maybe I should just ditch the turbo plan and just play a slightly slower version of Turbo Nas with Corvold. That deck's also fast.
I mean, hey, this is commander dependent. You have to cast Rograkh to go really fast. I mean, he dies immediately, but it's still like play with your commander.
Yeah, but like I don't lose the Drannith Magistrate as easily.
So
that is true.
What do you think some specific strengths of your deck are? We talked about the raw speed, but maybe some others, and then what your biggest weaknesses are.
Yeah, I think that one of my biggest strengths that I've gotten is a secondary Doomsday plan. It goes on like Primer. There's a Doomsday pile where if you can't win with Snoop anymore, I don't know if it's in your hand or something, you can Doomsday a pile of Jessica's Will, Ikra Hyrax Tower Scout, Dockside Extortionist, and Noxious Revival.
Ooh.
Which the Noxious Revival doesn't matter. That last card is worthless. It's the first 4 cards that matter. Which at that point, if you have Rograkh out, you can make 7 mana, or however much mana Jessica's Will makes, and exile Kiki, Tower Scout, and Dockside Extortionist. Which then you cast Dockside with your mana, you make treasures, and you cast Kiki and Tower Scout.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it might be the best Doomsday line this deck has that isn't Snoop related, but people have pointed me the other directions, which I don't remember because they seem convoluted and I'm not smart. And I'm really just, this deck is really easy in some senses, and then it's like a puzzle in other senses. It's like a puzzle you give a 4-year-old, which it's still complicated for me, but it's like, and just being honest, I got some brain problems, so building complicated, complex combos is not exactly my thing. But it's the puzzle piece and piecing together the, wow, I have this turn one Snoop, and then I get to go Sylvan Tutor scheming symmetry to win on turn two, which it took me like 2 months to find out I could do that.
I will say it's nice
like,
to see Doomsday in a deck again, because that's from right around when I personally started playing, and that was a card that fascinated me for a long time. You kind of, I feel like I don't see it as much anymore. I guess just because blue, blue, black win is a lot better than black, black, black plus whatever else you need to crack it.
Yeah, it's just from everything I've seen, it's the type of combo that is also, yeah, you do need that kind of more setup than ones that we have these days. It's not as efficient, and also it has the same problem with like the Chain of Smog combos, is that you basically, but worse, is that if you fail, you've blown yourself out. You fail hard, you just lose.
Yeah. Opposition agent, that's one of those things you only lose to once. You Doomsday in the open mana, just you do that once, or Ikra Shidiqi. It's
oh god.
And then you just get your entire library exiled.
Yeah, and they get 5 cards from it, and then you die. And I don't know what happens to those 5 cards. People told me they stay or they go.
No, they go with you.
I believe they leave the game when you do.
Yeah, so better cast
them.
But
they give you 5 instants they want to abuse before you're dead.
Well, actually, technically, because you don't die until your upkeep, so they could pick literally anything.
Before we wrap things up, I wanted to go over some of your more unique card choices, and I had actually one I wanted to ask you about. Claim the Firstborn.
Oh yeah, it's another removal spell in a sense. Because the opposition agent and Hullbreacher are not universal effects, they're asymmetrical. You can take control of one and then cast your wheel, which puts you way ahead, or you can just cast your tutors. And then sometimes you take an opposition agent and you sacrifice it to a burn offering to net 1 mana, stuff like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
It comes in and out a lot for like lightning bolt and stuff, but sometimes it's you only do one game where you're like, claim the Firstborn your Hullbreacher, Wheel of Fortune, and you're like, this is pretty fun.
So what you're saying is you play a blue card and think, this is pretty fun.
I think somebody else's blue card.
Alright, fair enough. Are there any other specific cards that you might want to mention? There's a couple of interesting choices in here, at least from my perspective. Kind of strange brew type things.
I mean, you can bounce those off of me. I've played these cards so much that, like, they're kind of ingrained in my brain.
Is Rending Volley in there for something specific?
Oh, Rending Volley is an uncounterable way to kill 1 Hullbreacher and 2 Dranith Magistrate, which stops your which can stop your Snoop line or your Jessica's Will and stuff.
That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah, I picked it up from the Vanilla deck because that deck is very commander dependent and can't be the Dranith Magistrate really. But just if I want to be able to Snoop and then cast Torch Courier to go off that turn, I do need to be able to kill a Dranith Magistrate or Archon of Emeria and the Artifact 2-mana 1 then. Is actually
Rending Volley. I believe you said that you got it from initially from Winota, right?
Yeah, the Winota Discord.
Oh yeah. That's
probably goes in like Godo too, right?
I wouldn't be.
I think so. I think that
because Godo can't really beat Dranith Magistrate either.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much better it is than Lightning Bolt. There's not a lot of 4 toughness things, but the uncounterability is what matters.
Oh yeah, it really just comes down to what are you wanting to hit, and if they fall within that, then there you go.
And then,
One thing I've noticed is it does kill Croms, which can definitely matter.
oh, it does.
Well,
Because it is white.
Ooh, I might have to consider that one. I had a couple other cards that I was curious about, and I'm not trying to like grill you on your choices. They're just they're interesting to me.
Definitely.
Seal of Fire.
Oh,
Is that part of like a breach loop that I'm just stupid about?
No, it's just it's either removal for an opposition to a creature, or you can just put it on the board and people won't cast those cards.
Oh, it's a deterrent. Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it's just a shock.
Well, so then, since your answer to the past like 2 cards has been basically the same, can I assume that Barbarian Ring is in there for yet those same reasons?
Yeah. Also, I needed other land that made red, and it had an upside that a mountain didn't.
I play that in Duretti. It is a solid card considering how easy Threshold is to hit in our format. Like, it kills a lot of relevant things.
Lands are really cool. This is in the same cycle with like Cephalid Coliseum, right?
Yes.
And then there's Cabal Pit. I know is the black one that's -2/-2.
I think it's -2/-1, isn't it?
Is it? I don't know.
I think the white one, you have to tap it, will damage yourself, and it gains you life, which seems fantastic.
Oh my
god! It is -2/-2. Damn.
That's such a white.
And then the green one, I think, is a giant growth.
Oh, that's cool.
Those are actually like, yeah, they're decently. The red and the black one for sure, and then the blue one is obviously like a combo piece for like. I think Muldrotha played it.
Yeah.
People used to play it back in the Hulk times. You'd crop rot into it, and then with their Thassa's Oracle trigger on the stack, once they're milled out, you just made them draw 3 cards.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, that's something you can still definitely do. I've seen it happen. I've also seen it played in like Wheel Thief lists where all right, I have a land and I have this thief out. I'm gonna make you discard 3 cards, which is pretty fun.
Sean, were there any other things you wanted to ask about Amy's list?
No, honestly, the ones I would ask about, like Sylvan Tutor and Scheming Symmetry, they've already been covered, and honestly, that's fantastic. I'm glad that Scheming Symmetry has found a home in working alongside Snoop to do some really cool stuff. As far as that, I don't really have too much else. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I love the list. I probably should test it out at some point. I do quite love the Jund colors, red, black, green. Just doing some.
That's my jam in Modern, so I'm always down to try it here.
Yeah. I know.
One more thing I just want to hit on real quick is Wild Cantor, which seems like just this weird innocuous, doesn't really matter, but it's a mana dork that adds red, and it's color fixing. This deck is so color hungry. Your combo is anywhere between 3 to 5 red mana, or then you have your Nas, which is black, and then you have Pier and Bolas Citadel, which are triple black. So like this deck gets really hungry. Oh, Doomsday too. It gets really hungry for colored mana.
Was Wild Cancer the reason that you tweeted a while about wishing there was a green dork that tapped for red?
Well, I wanted a green dork to tap for red for so long.
I can't believe there isn't one. I can't believe there
but
isn't
no
one.
one watched either. They're gonna print
blue one before
a blue one and then never address red.
There's a white one, there's a black one, a green one. Like red goes with green all of the time and is in big stompy colors. It makes perfect sense. Way more than having like a white one or even a black one.
Yeah, but blue-green is our market research has shown blue-green is gooder, so we're gonna do that.
Oh no!
Yeah,
Oh my goodness! They print blue green in the dark. I'm right.
I think if they ever printed a Matador that just taps for red, it probably replaces Arbor Golf in this deck. Because I'm only playing 4 forests in the entire thing, which has its ups and downs. It makes Orcish Lumberjack not as reliable as I'd like it to be because I'm only running the 2 shocks and the 2 duels because I don't run any basics because it's 2021 and if you're running basic lands in your 3-color deck, be better.
Yeah, actually, I just want to add on to that. Please play as many non-basic lands as you can, so when I play Blood Moon, you lose the game.
See, here's this really cool thing about Blood Moon is it doesn't stop Dockside Extortionist.
Yeah, that's the...
It does. It stops your deck if you can't draw it, right, Sean?
Lose to Dockside. It feels bad. Before we wrap up here, about lands, there was a funny little tidbit you told us before we started this recording about the MDFCs in your deck and the number of times you actually played them as lands.
Yeah, so somebody made a YouTube video, I can't remember who it was, they were talking about are MDFCs lands or are they spells? And what should you be counting them towards in your deck? And I was like, I can just keep track of how I use them. So I run 2 MDFCs in here, Shadow Skull Smash and Agadeem's Awakening. And I don't run the green one, which I did run for like a week, and I realized it was 7 mana, and you flip that up ad nauseam once, you never want to play it again.
Yeah, that's
these are only 2 and 3. Oh, that's a good point.
But as MDFCs, I have played as a land Shadow Skull Smashing 4 times ever, and never played Agadeem's Awakening as a land. I have cast Shadow Skull Smashing as a removal spell 6 times. I've only cast Agadeem's Awakening once, and it got back, I think, Snoop and Vexing Shusher. I think so. Maybe Dockside. It was Snoop and another goblin. And then Exile the Chrome Mox. I have exiled Shadow Skull Smashing 12 times and exiled Agadeem's Awakening to create a Mox Jet a total of 23 times.
Oh my goodness, that's...
Yeah, I had a good laugh when I heard all of this. I love that you kept track, and I love that they've served you better as like fodder than they have even as lands, like exiled fodder.
That's honestly, I need to start doing that with some random stuff in my decks. That sounds hilarious. That kind of data finding it later and useful. So, was there anything else real quick before we wrap this up that anyone wanted to bring up and talk about? Just any last things?
Let me take a quick look. Debalt's Trickery is a good card that I hear a bunch of people say is not good.
It's so good.
They're wrong.
How can you say that's not a good card? Like, whatever they're gonna flip is not better than what they were casting.
Yeah, there was the niche situation where you counter their ad nauseam and they flip in the pier.
That was literally the one on top of my head. Like, that's the only situation I can see that being worse.
But you know how many times you counter their ad nauseam and they flip in the Pro Mox or Mox Diamond or Rite of Flame, just in a format that plays so much fast mana. It's also why we talked about it earlier with Braden's white card puzzle. Giving people mana and cards is not as dangerous as you think it is in a format where half people's decks are just mana.
Oh, yeah.
That's a really good point.
Because, oh no, you drew Mox Amber, or Mox Amber, Rite of Flame, and Cabal Ritual, those cards are really going to help you with those 3 extra treasures you just made. It's just very Slaughter Pact, not very good in testing, but good enough that I have to keep running it in my own Snoop list. Unfortunately,
sometimes you just
it
need
stops
to kill a thing.
Hull Breacher and Dranith, but not stopping Opposition Agent is kind of a big deal. The biggest weakness of this deck is Opposition Agent or Praetor's Grass grabbing Kiki Jiki. Because all your win lines need Kiki Jiki. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how
most people, when you like cast Goblin Matron, they're like, I was great to Dockside, and I'm like, whew, I lived to fight another day.
that sounds brutal. Yeah.
I think that's Opposition Agent has harmed this deck a lot more than it's.
It has hurt a lot of decks. Else. Yeah.
I think it's why Doomsday is not as good anymore. Just
that's bad. Definitely one of the biggest reasons, because Doomsday has to be such a big telegraph, because you need to have so much mana to actually get it going. And
does Opposition Agent mean Zur is like officially gone as a competitive EDH commander?
I was playing General Tazri Food Chain back in the day. I don't think Zur was good back then either. So
that's what I was saying. Is like even like you say back in the day. I'm assuming it was around the same time I was playing, because that was when General Tazri was like tier 1, and even then it was kind of a joke at that point. I mean, there was the experimentation with like shimmer lists, and I think that's what people are still doing if they're playing Zur. But
like Necropotence.
The old Necro lists, like that were just like raw like speed, I just don't think exists anymore. That might just be a deck that died.
What is shimmers, or what's the
So basically you cast a Necropotence, or you flip it off, or you get it off of Zur. Mostly you get it off of Zur. You cast Zur, you get Zur. And then there's a card called Shimmer Mirror, which basically is a flash colorless creature. It's a mirror from Mirrodin, and it gives artifacts flash. And then you have a so you basically just necro your half your library into your hand. Hope you get there, and you cast Shimmer Mirror, and then you cast a bunch of artifacts and stuff from your hand. I think is it with Aetherflux or something? I don't know.
It's something like that.
Something weird.
But
it's
Comedian MTG. Who used to be on the CDH cast and has his own channel now. He just top 8'd with Rograkh Silas Shimmer Nas. I didn't realize that he was called Mirror, but it was the same card with similar plans.
It's basically
Also, this Zur deck only runs 4 enchantments.
Yeah. Because you're never like. If you go back and watch like the Lab Maniacs video that covered like Zur like a long time ago, Zur is like your plan Z. Like you're not really ever casting him unless you're so far behind that you need to just go get Adnaz like right now.
Or Necro, you mean?
Yeah, or Necro, excuse me.
Another black broken mistake.
I think we need to start wrapping things up here. We might be a little bit over.
That was just about to say. It is time for us to head out. So, Amie, where can people find you?
You can find me at Twitter at Amie, AMIE, Joe, JO, Burton, BURTON. And then I have a link tree there if you want to watch me post on Instagram, which is usually just pictures of my wall of energy drinks once a month. So
I like those pictures.
I love those pictures.
And
my doctor
Josh,
doesn't love those pictures.
Oh, your doctor probably doesn't. And Josh, where can people find you?
You can find me at 2 in a Blue on Twitter. That's where I'm primarily active getting into arguments with people about non-viable CEDH cards.
Like,
Yeah. Sean, what about you?
Yes, people can find me at DeathSingerLee on Twitter. Talk about Magic the Gathering most of the time, sometimes about politics. If you're interested in that, give me a follow. I've been talking a lot about spoilers and stuff recently, especially a lot of the stuff that has been spoiled today. And if you would like to follow the podcast, you can follow us at SBS_cast on Twitter, and we should be coming back around next week with some more episodes. Sundays at around 12 o'clock CST is usually when we post. And Amie, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for being our first guest ever.
thank you very much.
We actually, we should probably plan on having you back because I had a lot of fun just chatting with you.
Yeah, I could talk about Magic for days.
Oh yeah, I agree. It would be absolute blast to do this again. So we will see you all next time. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and we will see you next week.